This is part of a series of videos that will cover misconduct by lawyers. This one's pretty straightforward and rather simple. Early in his career, Daniel Peter Feinberg was working as an assistant state attorney in Florida. He was working on a case involving drug offenses. The defendant in the case was represented by a private defense lawyer. The state had a strong case against the defendant. The defense lawyer approached Feinberg to see whether his client could cooperate with the state's attorney's office and provide some assistance to law enforcement in a bid to improve his sentence position. Feinberg meets with the defense lawyer and his client to discuss whether such an arrangement would be possible, but there was no agreement reached. So far, so good. The defendant then breached his release conditions, and his lawyer approached Feinberg again to see if a deal could be negotiated. Feinberg referred the defense lawyer to 2 police officers, and the police officers were not interested in a deal with the defendant. The defendant pleads guilty on the drug offenses without any deal in place. However, later the defendant convinces police that he could provide them assistance. So the day before he's supposed to be sentenced, he met with police and Feinberg. Here's where it starts to get sketchy. The defense lawyer was not at this meeting. It's a no-no for a lawyer to meet with a person without that person's lawyer present. Feinberg asked the defendant if he wanted his lawyer there, and the defendant said no. The defendant may have suggested that the defense lawyer was not working for him anymore, so Feinberg asked if he wanted a court-appointed lawyer with him, and again, the defendant said no. The meeting continues, and an agreement was made that he would serve his time on house arrest rather than in jail. The defendant asked them not to tell the defense lawyer about the agreement. He said that his lawyer was connected in the drug community, and he was afraid news of the agreement would get back to dealers, outing him as an informant. Feinberg was surprised to see the defense lawyer present the following day at the sentencing hearing. He told the defense lawyer that there was some paperwork that needed to be finished, and so he wanted more time. He did not tell the defense lawyer about the agreement, and ultimately the court would give him more time. Feinberg then goes to his bosses and says, "Help, senior lawyers, how do I deal with this situation?" They decided, remarkably, that the agreement and the criminal charges were 2 separate things, and they weren't, given that the agreement made the sentencing on the criminal charges lighter. They decided that they would not have to tell the defense lawyer anything about it. Things are getting sketchier, and now this lawyer is on very, very thin ice. It's just cracking all around him. The defense lawyer asked Feinberg straight out whether he met with the defendant. Feinberg lied and said he had not. Just a few days after that, the defendant meets with Feinberg again, and they sign an agreement. The defense lawyer, clearly still representing his client, asks Feinberg 2 more times whether he was meeting with the defendant. On both occasions, Feinberg lies and says no. The defense lawyer asks for a private meeting with the judge and Feinberg, where he tells the judge what's happened. The defense lawyer withdraws as the defendant's attorney because things have been happening that he's not aware of, and that impedes his ability to represent his client. He also files a complaint with the bar against Feinberg for meeting with the defendant without his lawyer and then for lying to the defense lawyer. By this time, the ice has opened up into a big hole, and Feinberg's just slipped right into that water. The bar lawyer wanted a 3-year suspension, which would have destroyed Feinberg's career. Feinberg was remorseful, and he received bad advice from his superiors. He was publicly reprimanded instead and had to pay some costs and write letters of apology that were sent out to a number of places. Feinberg was not a dirty lawyer. He made a serious misjudgment. Lawyers can't behave this way, and prosecutors especially can't be seen to be making secret deals with criminal defendants that their defense lawyers know nothing about. The good news is Feinberg seems to have learned a big lesson from all of this. It happened back in the 1990s, and his reprimand was in 2000, and he's had a clean record ever since, according to his public discipline records. He continues to work with the state attorney's office and seems to have stayed off the ice altogether. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying these videos and want more, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it.